Thank you so much. Now we'll take the questions, right? Ji. Okay. We'll do that. We will do that. Beimani nahi. So we'll have the chairs and request the core cast to stay back. Thank you so much. Now it's time for the Sawal Jawabs. And where do we start?
हेलो ऑडियो नहीं हेलो हेलो पूजा जी ऑन योर लेफ्ट हाई ऑन योर लेफ्ट एंड अप हाई सो आपने अपना हाथ दिखाया प्रभास जी को एंड अगर दिखाया तो उनका क्या रिएक्शन था
हेलो हेलो चेक आ रहा है साउंड आ रहा है थैंक यू फिल्म में जो होता है कि बाहर लाइक आई डोंट नो फिल्म में
इन जनरल
इन जनरल
कभी भी आपने अपना
हम
हाथ
एक्ट
दिखाया
कर रहे हैं ना लाइक ही डजंट नॉट एक्चुअली रीड इट बट बाहर जो पंडित जी जो थे उन्होंने बोला कि मेरा फ्यूचर अच्छा है तो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट दैट और फिल्म हिट होगी सो आई एम होपिंग
एंड प्रभास जी हमने सुना है कि मिस्टर अमिताभ बच्चन नरेटर हैं तो व्हाट वुड यू say
Yeah,
about and what's your
so
feeling
it was like great. You're talking about the voiceover which he gave? Yeah, it was like everybody loves his voice, and I spoke to him and I sent him a letter, like so like sweetly he gave the voice, and I'm very grateful. So you know, it's a very important dialogue I think in the film. It starts with his dialogue and ends with his dialogue. So I'm very grateful. We are all grateful to him for giving his voice.
अ, भूषण जी मे भूषण जी
जी
मेरा सवाल आपसे है अभी तो सिनेमा के गंगूबाई के बाद अच्छे दिन आ ही गए लेकिन मुझे अच्छी तरह से याद है कि जब सूर्यवंशी के बाद कुछ बड़ी फिल्में फ्लॉप हुई तब आपने एक दूसरे प्रोडक्शन हाउस बड़े प्रोडक्शन हाउस के साथ डिसीजन लिया था कि आप फिल्में और बनाएंगे तो उस समय जब सब लोग डिमोरलाइज थे इवन हम लोग भी एज अ जर्नलिस्ट डिमोरलाइज थे तब आपको ऐसा कॉन्फिडेंस क्यों था कि आगे अच्छे दिन आएंगे
सी देखिए अब इंटरटेनमेंट इज़ नॉट ओनली लिमिटेड टू ओटीटी पे लिमिटेड नहीं होती है लोगों को इंटरटेन होने के लिए आई थिंक थिएटर्स कभी हमारी ज़िंदगी से जा नहीं सकते और उसी का रीज़न है और वो एक कॉन्फिडेंस हम में एज टी सीरीज़ और हमारे स्टूडियो में था कि ये थिएटर्स 100% लोग वापस आएंगे और थिएटर्स में एंजॉय करेंगे बिकॉज थिएटर्स इज़ नॉट ओनली वॉचिंग मूवीज़ इट्स आउटिंग विच आप ओटीटी पे आउटिंग नहीं कर सकते ओटीटी आप घर पे देखते हैं तो एक फैमिली का आउटिंग होती है और उसके साथ इंटरटेनमेंट भी होती है तो आई वी हैड दैट कॉन्फिडेंस फ्रॉम बिगनिंग and that's why we have now planned up all our films in theatrical release जो कि कुछ OTT release हमने भी की थी बहुत पूरी इंडस्ट्री भी कर रही थी but now I'm very happy after the response of गंगूबाई के अब हमारी फिल्म भी नेक्स्ट आ रही है अभी we have a June releasing a day after tomorrow then we have Radhe Shyam so I hope people will come to theaters and enjoy the films on a big screen.
हेलो
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 मेरा मेरा नाम आरती सक्सेना है और मेरा सवाल मतलब प्रभास जी से है कि लाइक ज्योतिष विद्या को ना फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में 80% से ज़्यादा लोग मानते हैं चाहे वो साउथ इंडस्ट्री हो चाहे वो बॉलीवुड हो तो लेकिन मेन मेरा मानना है कि कर्म सबसे मेन होते हैं इम्पॉर्टेंट होते हैं तो आप लोग कितना बिलीव करते हैं इस पे और अगर ये सच होता है तो आप लोग कितना काम कर सकते हैं इस पे
Yeah, yeah, I believe in fate, destiny, and all, but I never showed hand to anyone. When Radha told me the story, I thought like, oh, me, palmist. I never showed it to anyone. So, but the way it goes, it's between love and destiny, the fight. So, yeah.
हेलो प्रभास, योर सेंटर राहुल हियर फ्रॉम द फिल्मी चर्चा।
Hi.
हेलो। 3-4 सालों से बहुत सारा फ़र्क देखने को मिला है हमें। पहले ऑडियंस की नज़र में होता था ये टॉलीवुड एक्टर, ये बॉलीवुड एक्टर, ये टॉलीवुड फिल्म, ये बॉलीवुड फिल्म। लेकिन मेकर्स एफर्ट डाल रहे हैं। अब इंडियन सिनेमा और इंडियन एक्टर की मतलब बारी आ रही है, तो मेकर्स एफर्ट डाल रहे हैं। आपकी तरफ से और क्या एफर्ट देखने को मुझे मिलेगा, और आप क्या मतलब उम्मीद करते हैं और क्या बदलाव आएगा इंडियन सिनेमा?
So it's a very good sign that India is becoming one, because the other countries like China, biggest industries like China or Hollywood, they have one language. We have how many? 20 languages. So now we are becoming Indian cinema, and it will take like 5 years where everybody are experimenting in films. So like Telugu songs, Hindi song, Bahubali or RR, or every film we are all trying. To reach Indian audience. It takes another five years, I think, because every day it's an experiment, and we're going to make India's film, only Indian films after 5 years, I think, like as you said, and we're going to be the biggest industry in the future.
Hi Prabhas, Shivani here from Times Now, to your
Hello.
right
Hi.
here.
Hi.
Okay, so my question is to you that now the Hindi audience basically has a perception that you are going to come in Hindi theatres only for action films. So would you want to change that perception? And the second question is to Pooja, that Pooja, we have seen all the romance when it comes to the women in the film. So do you also want to come to the action side of it?
First, should I or you?
No, Prabhas, please go
Okay.
ahead.
So, yeah. So, I like the films which I'm doing, like Adipurush or Nagi's project, are like biggest action films. Every 2-3 films, I want to try something different. In Telugu also, I was an action hero from my first film, but I did Darling and Mr. Perfect, which worked. They were big hits, and I don't want audience to get bored or fix it like that. I can do only action. There is action in Radhe Shyam, but not dishum dishum, but we have action. Like you can see the visuals and all. So yeah, I don't want audience to get bored of me, so I want to try something.
I honestly think that Hindi has seen love stories, and we have some iconic love stories with DDLJ and all of that. But I also feel that we, as an audience, sometimes want to see more love stories which aren't happening. Some hoping, which is why Kabir Singh did really well, So I hope that with this film also people enjoy the love aspect of it. And when it comes to the action, I would say just wait for my next announcement. That's all I'm gonna say. But very excited. I definitely want to, do something with action, because I feel that as a young girl, I look up to women who have played major action sequences and done roles like that, where she's been the badass of the film, and growing up I've seen that, I've loved it, and I hope that through my choices in my films I could probably inspire another little Pooja. So I hope that happens very soon, and it will. Just give me a few months for my next announcement.
Hi, congratulations to the entire team. The teaser, the trailer, everything is excellent, excellent. Yeah. Just to add an extension to the question, what one of my colleague had asked, Prabhas ji, कभी किसी लड़की को impress करने के लिए पामिस्ट आप बने थे? It could be for Pooja and Bhushan also.
Yeah, maybe I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Pooja, if कभी आपने कुछ अभी इस तरह से किया है शायद कॉलेज डेज में या कभी किसी
Film में तो definitely we did some, maybe yeah, I saw Pooja's hand in the film, yeah.
भूषण जी आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कभी आप कोई लड़की को इम्प्रेस करने के लिए हो सकता है बहुत बार इस तरह से कॉलेजेस में हम लोग ट्राई करते थे एक लड़की का हाथ पकड़ना हो तो यू बिकम अ पामिस्ट एक्चुअली
नहीं I have never tried that, but Pramod was telling me he has tried actually. You told me, na?
हेलो पूजा, योर सेंटर राहुल हियर। मेरा सवाल ये था आपसे कि प्रभास के साथ काफ़ी वक्त बिताया आपने शूटिंग के दौरान, कुछ ऐसा जो ऑडियंस नहीं जानती है, फैंस नहीं जानते प्रभास के बारे में, आप बताइए।
I think, like, you know, the image is that he's a shy person, but I think he's actually if he warms up to the people and like around his friends, he's actually a fun person and very, jovial is what I would say. So that's what people don't know.
Hi, Prabhas. Hi.
Hi.
Faridun from Bollywood Hangama. Congratulations for the promo. I think it's looking outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
My question to you is that we are witnessing, I think, a superb change in a way. That the mainstreaming of South cinema, I think it's a beautiful experience for almost everyone. It's no more considered as regional cinema. And the way, in a way, it's like a benchmark in terms of be it box office, be it technical acumen, as well as writing. Do you think this change had to come one way or the other? Because it's truly spectacular. As
Yeah, it should come, I feel. Maybe it started with Bahubali or with Rajmouli or whoever, but I think we should make an Indian film. It's time, and it has come, I think. Yeah.
And
Hi-
do you
hi,
think
Prab-
Radhe Shyam is one film that can truly go maybe all across? Because the theme is truly universal with.
Yeah, the theme which I select, like I try to make, everybody are trying to make Indian films, north, south, east, west. So we tried like to make Indian film. So it is an Indian film. It's like love, destiny, faith. Everybody believes in it, or around the country, around the world also. So yeah.
Hi
Thank you.
Prabhas. Hi Prabhas, this is Ravi
Hi.
from ABP News Channel. After Bahubali, Pushpa became a film which crossed 100 crore mark in northern region in Hindi belt. How do you see the success of Pushpa, which was released recently, which starred Allu Arjun in it? How do you see the success of that?
So like we are getting closer. Like we are making Indian films. Like yeah. So that's now Bahubali did, then KGF did, now Pushpa. Now we are getting closer to make Indian films more and more. Like maybe a year in future we might release some 50 Indian films. So that's very good sign. We are going to become the India's world's one of the biggest industries once it happens.
Hi, Prabhas.
Hello. Hi, Prabhas. Neha this side from Mastak. Hi. This
Sorry.
प्रभास ये इस फिल्म को जो है राजा मौली जो है वो नरेट किया है उन्होंने एक बाहुबली के सुपर सक्सेस के बाद उनके साथ कोलैबोरेशन उस पर क्या कहना चाहेंगे
Yeah, I don't know when Rajamouli does, but definitely we'll do something. And yeah, we are friends, so I can ask him. I don't ask him, he won't tell me. But we had a small plan, but I don't know when it happens. We'll let you know.
Hi, Prabhas, this side, center.
Hi.
So this film is kind of different than your films which we have watched. According to you, what do you think? What will attract your audience the most? Is it you being in the film, or is it the story? What will attract the most
See,
to your fans?
Any stars, I don't want to talk about any other stars, but like any actor or stars, they really, the film runs only because of a writer and the director. Then only I think we stars or actors can make it bigger, little, the openings or something, but the film can run only by the story or the director.
Right. And एक डायलॉग है फिल्म में कि प्यार को लेकर आपका प्रेडिक्शन इस बार गलत है. वेल कितनी बार ऐसा हुआ है कि प्यार को लेकर आपका प्रेडिक्शन गलत हुआ है रियल लाइफ में?
बहुत बार हुआ है. That's why I didn't get married, I think.
And पूजा आपसे एक सवाल ये है कि we know you are very versatile in terms of acting, but talking about राधे श्याम, कितनी versatility आपको दिखाने का मौका मिला है इस फिल्म में?
I feel like sometimes the script supports you, and I think this time the character has helped me kind of portray another version of myself. You're going to see a new Pooja, I would say. And it was great that I got to do a commercial film, which was a love story where the girl had a very strong character. I had to so I prepped a lot for it. She's fun, she's strong-headed, she's very much a girl of today, even though the film is set in, I would say, 80s? 70s, yeah, in that era. So I'm very excited because I hope you all like what I have done with the role. It has been, like I said, one of my most challenging roles, and on such a big scale, I hope you all love it. Yeah.
पूजा हाय प्रशांत दिस साइड
Hi.
आपने बोला ज्योतिषी को आपने हाथ दिखाया और उन्होंने कहा आपकी कुंडली बहुत अच्छी है, तो उन्होंने ये भी बताया था कि आपको सिर्फ सुपरस्टार्स के साथ ही काम करना है, प्रभास, सलमान, रणवीर सिंह, और या ये भी बोला कि इसके अलावा आप गंगूबाई काठियावाड़ी जैसे कैरेक्टर्स भी करेंगे.
Sanjay sir, if you're watching this, please give me the chance. But इतनी बुरी बात तो नहीं है, मतलब अगर हम सुपरस्टार्स के साथ काम
मैंने
कर
कहा तो
रहे हैं
अच्छी बात है, मैंने बुरा
अच्छी
नहीं बोला.
बात है. I have also not worked with
आमिर
superstars.
शाहरुख के साथ भी करना है.
I haven't also, if you look at my filmography, but it's. I think it's now about picking the right scripts for me. I think it's about picking the right characters, and I think that I've reached that stage where I feel like it's, you know, I want to be challenged as an actor more than anything, besides doing the commercial films also, which I am. And this is like the perfect amalgamation of both, I would say, because, you know, there's a scope for performance and it's a commercial film at the same time. So I hope you like it. And I hope I keep working with superstars. And you know, they say that sangat acha ho to fir wo kabhi na kabhi to wo that it rubs off on you. So I hope that the superstardom of my co-stars also rub off on me somewhere.
एक चीज और ऐड करना चाहूंगा, हर एक्टर के साथ काम करने का एक चैलेंज होता है, तो प्रभास के साथ काम करने का क्या चैलेंज आपको लगा और उन्होंने क्या रबाव, अपनी स्टारडम कितनी रबाव की आपके साथ?
I think the challenge has been with his fans because they are so passionate about him, the darling fans, that agar kuch, if there was no update coming from the team, they used to bombard me on my Instagram and my Twitter saying that please Radhe Shyam update, Radhe Shyam update. So I think my challenge has been with that, but it's amazing to have such passionate fans.
Hi.
No, there's just a ship in the climax, that's it.
Yes, please. Actually, I shouldn't say this. It's very pompous to say this. But when I actually saw the first cut, I told Radha, I call him India's James Cameron. Radha James Cameron is what I generally call him in my messages and all that. I said the climax is bigger than Titanic. The way it has been done, I mean, I don't want to break all the Q factor of the film. That's what I genuinely felt. So it posed me a huge challenge. See, again, it's a love story. Titanic was also a love story. Comparisons are going to come, but don't compare it. I'm saying this is more of a La La Land, I would say, you know, for me, personally speaking. And when you deal with films like this and you want to make it international, like yesterday when we were watching the reels with Prabhas, he was actually saying that it's sounding international, you know, it's looking international. It's like, but at the same time, it is a love story that come from Indian cinema. You know, like Faridun said, you know, you talked about Indian cinema. Now we are talking about Indian cinema. Actually, historically, it is wrong. There were a lot of South Indian films have had Indian actors from the north, and South Indian film was actually identified as Indian cinema. If you look at the 70 years of India's cinematic history. And it's that just in the last 20 years we just forgotten. If you put together Tamil cinema, Telugu cinema, Malayalam cinema put together, no, it's much bigger than Hindi cinema. We just didn't know about it, you know. Their overseas openings, you know, put everybody else to shame. I mean, if you look at it. So actually what pandemic has done is just leveled it, you know. Now we know the other languages are there, like Prabhas was saying, we have like more than, you know, how many languages we have. We have as many industries, you know, we just don't recognize it, you know. Then we are the only one country. If you look at Europe, you know, you only talk about UK French cinema, Polish cinema, a little bit of other language cinema. But when we talk about India, India is bigger than Europe, and the number of industries that we have is more than 15. As in industries that is working is more than 15. Europe doesn't have that kind of numbers, and so we have, because we have our own stories, our own language, our own literature. So Radhe Shyam come from the core of Indian cinema. So even if you see visuals of that kind, and because the film is set in Europe, because that's what the basic tenet of the story is, that's why it is set in Europe. It's not that we want to compete with Titanic or make it like that, or go one step ahead of it. But the story demanded that it be set in Europe in the 70s, and so we are just coming together. I mean, India, the Indian audience is coming together. I mean, that's what the pandemic has done to us. Post-pandemic, we have identified as one people through Indian cinema. I mean, that is the core of Indian cinema has done in the last 2.5 years.
Hi.
Yeah, the second part of the question was very interesting. I want to know the answer.
What was the second part of the question? See that. See, I never knew Pooja speaks Hindi. So when I heard her dubbing, I was like, wow, she speaks Hindi? Oh, come on. And what's the other way around?
I speak Telugu also now.
Okay, they did it on their own, and they have worked really, really hard. I mean, of course, because of the pandemic, we couldn't go to commercial dubbing studios, so we created our own studio. They came there and they worked day in, day out, and they made it happen. And I see they are very, Prabhas, especially to talk about Prabhas, he's very concerned how he's reaching out, There is, look at him as an actor who was identified with Bahubali, and you have this Rajasthan life image, but he's doing a love story, and he comes to, look at the similarity, he comes to the studio and say that, don't treat me like Bahubali, I'm not, in this film, I'm different. So treat me like the character. Very rarely you have actors from North speaking like that. I'm very, very proud of him, They are, except barring a few actors from North, they see only themselves. And here I see a pan-India actor, much bigger than anybody that you can name, comes to the studio, listen to his sequences and say that, don't treat me like this. This is wrong, Treat me like the character that I am. And that's, again goes back to one of the things that he said. I can only give an opening. The film runs or don't run is because of my character worked, or the director worked, the story worked. It's because of that. And Pushpa is a perfect example of that. And they are actors who give themselves to the story and the director. And that is one quality, I would say, our North actors to imbibe from them. Thank you.
Hi,
We'll take one last question, right?
Hi.
Prabhas, hi.
Hi, myself Deepesh Pandey. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Myself Deepesh Pandey from दैनिक जागरण. मेरा सवाल प्रोड्यूसर्स एंड डायरेक्टर्स से है कि जब आपकी फिल्म में हीरो का नाम विक्रमादित्य है, हीरोइन का नाम प्रेरणा है, बट फिल्म का नाम राधे श्याम कैसे रखा, क्यों रखा?
So yeah, that's a good question. See, regarding palmistry, palmistry has been like, what I read was like, there's a king called Vikramaditya who popularized palmistry around India and around the world. So I took an inspiration of the name from that. And Prerana, the meaning of Prerana is, I think you'll all understand that. So why I named her Prerana is like, once you watch the film, you'll understand it. And coming back to why I named it Radhe Shyam, like, is there any classical love story in India like bigger than Radhe Shyam, Radha and Krishna? And I felt that that's the right thing to do. And I would like to add some an answer to a few of the questions. Like, see, this film is based on, it's a love story. The conflict is astrology. And coming to astrology, if you take astrology, like either we believe it or we don't believe it. Only there are two categories. And this is the most age-old question. Like, I've been like reading about this question in like 500-year-old scriptures as well. Like, is it true or not? But if something is not true, it has to extinct, but it is not. Why is that happening? And the other thing is like, do we have a logical conclusion to palmistry or astrology or whatever it is? We cannot come with a sentence with that. So the question is like, people who believe in it will question their belief system. People who don't believe in it, they'll relook at this issue in a different way once again. And I think Radhe Shyam is a film to fall in love with and to understand an aspect, an age-old question as well. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you, sir.
Prabhas. Hi. Prabhas, you're right.
Hi.
On your left, on your left.
Sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
How much do you believe in astrology? And second question is, who has been your inspiration in Hindi films? I mean, any hero, any film? Who has been your inspiration?
I like Salman and Shah Rukh a lot. Amitabh Bachchan sir. Amitabh Bachchan sir is a legend and everybody loves him. So yeah. And what's the other question? Sorry.
Do you believe in astrology?
No, actually that's why I like till the story like 70. Yeah, they answer. No, you can't say that, I think. Okay, yeah, I never believed. Yeah, I never did.
Prabhas, do you agree here?
Sorry.
Welcome to Mumbai.
Hi.
Prabhas, do you agree that with Bahubali you opened the route to the Tollywood industry and now it's doing very well? What is your answer to
So
this?
actually, writers and director opened the thing. I was part of it. So yes, actually, Bahubali started to open a lot of things. Yeah.
And do you, you just said that star and actors, you know. So I want to ask, do you agree that for a film to run successfully, a star is needed, you know? And what do you consider yourself as a star or as an actor?
What do you think? I'm a star and actor. Okay, whatever. Okay, hope both one day. So yeah, I didn't do Radhe Shyam to prove as an actor. I just wanted audience. I wanted to entertain audience in a different way. So I'm not like very keen about awards or nothing. Maybe now, maybe after 10 years, I don't know. But now I'm not so keen about awards. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Prabhas Anna.
Thank you.
Prabhas Anna, okay,
and
last
thanks
question.
for my fans.
Prabhas Anna, last question.
Because I never speak
Prabhas
about
Anna,
this.
last question ikkada మధ్యలో మేము బాహుబలిలోన ఒక 6-pack మీ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ చూసినాము. ఇప్పుడు రాధేశ్యామ్లో అయితే అక్కడ లేదా అని తెలుస్తుంది మనకి. ఆది పురుష్లో వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉందా ఫుల్ బాడీ 6-pack తో?
Yeah, we'll talk about Adi Purush later, sir. Oh. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Thanks
you
to
so
all
much.
my
Thank you
fans.
so much,
See,
ladies
I
and
need
gentlemen.
to address
And
my
yes,
fans.
sir.
They're really, I want to thank my fans a lot. Thank you.
And before we wrap up the evening, would like to invite on stage Mr. Anil Thadani, ladies and gentlemen, A Film Se, powerhouse distributor. He's distributed some of the biggest movies of the industry, and also the very talented Amal Malik, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, give it up for him. We all love these people. And once again, thank you to this amazing team of Radhe Shyam for the Jalwa that we'll be witnessing on the 11th of March.